I would like to talk about how the universities are basically incorporating anti-Semitism into their curriculum. You see, universities and educational institutions in general can't just come out and say that they're anti-Semitic and that they're against Jewish people. But it becomes obvious in the curriculum that they are teaching that they don't like Jewish people. I was taking a course at the University of Toronto in Latin, and what really stuck with me was the fact that there was a part where we were basically learning in Latin about different slaves who would have been in the Roman Empire at the time. So this was thousands of years ago when the Roman Empire, around the time of the Punic Wars, when they fought Carthage. But they never went into the details of the history behind who these slaves were. They basically said, called each slave by name, and explained what each slave did. The first one said that it said his name, and he said, he is clever, he is able to count money. The second one said that he is not very clever, he's not able to count money, and that he just wants to drink and he just wants to work, and he doesn't want to work. When I looked into the history of who these slaves might have been, it became obvious based on the tribes of people who lived in Italy at that time. There was a small tribe of Celtic people who lived on a small island called Sardinia. It was on the outskirts of Italy. There was tribes of Jewish people which colonized Italy for thousands of years. There was the Moors. There was all kinds of people who were coming into Italy and were immigrating into Italy. You see, Italy was thought of as being, it has never been thought of fully as being a mixed-blooded community. But Italy is a community of many religions and many cultures. It never got into detail that the person who was clever and able to count money may have been Jewish. You see, at that time, because of the Punic Wars, whoever lost the war automatically became a slave. But it was the blatant anti-Semitism of identifying a Jewish person by something which is blatantly anti-Semitic. If you look at the history of Jewish stereotypes, particularly in Italy, this idea that Jews are power hungry, that they only just want money, that they only care about money, that they are, all these stereotypes about money are always associated with Jewish people. But it's the blatant fact that they have to express minoritized communities with blatant stereotypes. You see, in human psychology, we have something called subtext. These are things which are picked up by the unconscious mind. I asked myself, are they trying to communicate that this person in this passage may have been Jewish? Are they deliberately trying to communicate that the person is Jewish with these blatant stereotypes? For example, the person who they claimed was not so clever, was not able to count money, would have been a Celtic slave, which is basically a stereotype of their culture, that they just want to drink, that they don't want to work. So these universities have to communicate racist messages, reverse racism, by portraying their own people as lazy and not wanting to work, by portraying the Jews as being power hungry for money. They have to communicate racist ideologies without openly saying that this is what they're trying to portray people as. The universities have had systemic racism. We talk a lot about systemic racism of African Americans, but what about the systemic racism of Jewish people and how the system has portrayed the Jews?